Welcome back, bar crawlers. We are three guys walking to a sports bar, and it is week two. We are doing the Texans Saints week one, 2019 Monday Night Football showdown between Drew Brees and Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, when you were the one that offered this game up to for us to discuss, and I was a little surprised that this was a game that you wanted to talk about. But then after going back and rewatching it, and man, what a game! This is, like you said, the week one of the 2019 season. Let's just briefly go over the two teams coming into this game. Obviously, it's a brand new season for both these teams. Both have very promising things to look forward to in the 2019 season. I think the thing that we should obviously start with, though, is that the 2018 Saints made it all the way to the NFC Championship game. And then I'm sure we all know that call by now.
They should have a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, they would have easily beaten the Patriots if they played like that in the Super Bowl. But so I think that goes without saying that is one of the worst calls I think I've ever seen.
Non-calls.
Yes,
Yeah.
excuse me, non-calls. And then the complete over-adjustment that we had this previous season with the challenging of pass interference. But anyway, that's basically where the Saints are at. I mean, I did watch this game live as well, and I remember in the pregame they were showing some fans who dressed up as refs and that they wore like paper bags on their heads too, and
Oh, yeah.
they were really having fun with the refs.
I saw a few, too, wearing sunglasses and carrying canes like they were blind. Yeah.
Yes, that kind of stuff.
Which,
But
can I say that a home game? So in the NFL, I don't buy into the home field advantage too often, except for like four teams.
mhm.
And holy crap, the Saints fans make New Orleans one of them.
Oh yeah, the Superdome is probably one of the top, in my opinion, probably top three venues in the NFL.
Because I mean, I think of like home field advantage in the NFL, and honestly, Green Bay, Kansas City, and
I'll throw
New
Seattle
Orleans,
in there, and then New Orleans.
Seattle too. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah. The challenging team, the ones that came in here though, they, they came off an actually really impressive, at least regular season in 2018. I mean, they did start 0-3, but then they had a franchise high 9 straight wins, led by their quarterback Deshaun Watson, which was his first full season. You know, he played as a rookie, but then had his ACL tear that took him out. But no, they were great. I mean, Deshaun Watson was one of 6 Pro Bowlers the year before. They finished 11-5, had a really promising season, and then of course sputtered out in the playoffs. Surprisingly, this year to the Colts, where they only put up 7 points.
Ugh, I
Both,
remember that game.
yeah,
Ugh.
both. I bet Texans fans wish they don't remember. I
Yeah.
bet the Texans fans wish probably they don't remember any playoff game they've ever played. Anyway, so I mean, both teams, were had very promising seasons ahead of them, and well, let's just get to it.
Yeah. So we're just gonna start in the first quarter, and honestly, I'll be real with you. You could tell that it was just two teams starting the season trying to figure each other out. There's a lot of run heavy in the very beginning. Carlos Hyde surprised me on how well he played throughout most of the game.
Yeah,
Same with Duke Johnson, but there's a lot of
yeah.
big holes. But I mean, the Texans ended this game, I believe, with 100 rushing yards, 180 rushing yards this game. And there was nothing that they could do, that the Saints could do to stop that. But I will say, I mean, we'll go with the first series. Cameron Jordan had a sack on Deshaun Watson. That Texans O line could not pass block if their life depended on it.
Seriously though, I mean, one thing happened in the off season. Actually, I wouldn't even say the off season. It was literally like less than a week before this game. The Texans. I mean, this is the exact trade that they made a couple days before this game, and it's perfect Texans trading.
This is Bill O'Brien trading.
Yes, exactly. So the Texans give away a 2020 first round pick, a 2021 first round pick, a 2021 second round pick, a quarterback named Batamosi, and a tackle Davenport, and then Miami gives away Laramie Tunsil, and Kenny Stills
Just
a fourth round 2020 pick and a sixth 2021.
that hurt my just
Yeah.
listening.
So
Just,
basically, they traded away 2 first and a second for a tackle and a wide receiver.
and what baffles me is I went back. I mean, they don't have a huge history. Their history starts in 2002, and their let's just say last 18 drafts that they've had, they have taken an offensive lineman in the first round twice, and that is it. Once was in 2008, Dwayne Brown, which was a solid pick. He's been just a solid offensive lineman throughout his career. But the second one was actually this past year, so it's 2019. So they have a rookie up there who's not quite there, and he's the 24th overall pick out of Alabama State. So not like a top high recruit player. So when I see that the Texans for years have been just bad at protecting their quarterback, we'll start with David Carr. I mean, his first few years, he was known as, I think his first year or second year, one of the two, there was a record for how many sacks quarterback took in a full season. And they just have never gotten better. And I'm just like thinking to myself, like, just draft O lineman in your first couple rounds. Like, easy. It's an easy fix.
I mean, the Texans would be, no offense to them, the team that can mess that up.
Oh, yeah.
But one thing I want to bring up, though, the first thing that I noticed about this game wasn't necessarily the terrible O-line play or anything really about the game itself, but ESPN rolled out a new down and distance marker for Monday Night Football. And it is absolutely terrible. It is neon yellow, as if a flag is being thrown every single play.
It had me confused most of the time. I was like, oh, no flag. Okay, no flag. All right, I got it. Well, then, and the colors were opposite on the flag, where it was like black writing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and stupid.
They eventually changed it at the half. Thank God. But anyway,
I will say, I always forget how great Michael Thomas is. Like, just because he's just one of those guys that, like, he has a lot of catches, not really flashy things of that nature. But dude, there are so many passes here where the ball, he shouldn't catch it, and he just reaches up and grabs it. I mean, there's a reason he has like a 90+% catch radius. Yeah. And it's there. He had one in the middle of his quarter here that I'm just like, why? What is he doing catching that? That should just be an easy incomplete pass.
I mean, they just announced the Madden ratings for this year, and he got some backlash for being a 99 overall. But I watched this game, and I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. I get it. 100%.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Near the end, there was no scoring in the first quarter, so we're not missing anything here, guys. But near the end of the first quarter, so Drew Brees, the Saints are driving. Drew Brees rolls out to his right, and then he does the most un-Brees thing of all time, where we hear from announcers, never throw back to the center of the field if you're rolling a certain way. And I watched Drew Brees throw right back near the center of the field, and Marcellus Whitney is there, have an interception. Saints were in the red zone, missed opportunity there early.
Yeah, on the 5-yard line. That's very un-Brees-like.
Yeah. And then the very second play, that next possession, it's the last play of the first quarter.
It was the very next play. It was first.
Was it the very next play?
1st and 10 on like the 6, and it was.
Yeah. Okay. And Deshaun Watson just drops back and with ease just flicks the 54-yard bomb. Will Fuller jumps over the defender, pulls it down. It was amazing.
It doesn't get any better than that. Like I watched. I mean, yes, we just said Michael Thomas was unbelievable in this game. Deshaun Watson was perfection, I thought, in this game, minus a few things here and there, obviously, like a pick or whatever. But my goodness, was he unbelievable this game.
I don't think people realize how strong his arm is.
Yeah, he did that. He did that like. I was like, oh, he's winding up for a 20, 30-yard pass. No, it's the other side of the field.
Well, if you ever go watch, like, I think Aaron Rodgers, it was like 2 or 3 years ago, he had a Hail Mary to win a game against the Lions. Mm-hmm. And the pass was maybe 50 yards, something like that. But it took Rodgers like a double crow hop, throw the ball way up in the air, and hope that it would get that far. And Deshaun Watson's like flat-footed, just flick of the wrist.
Easy. And then that's basically the end of the first quarter, I'd say. And he follows that up basically with a run It ends up they get a couple more yards. It becomes 4th and 1. It's the second play of the second quarter, and they decide, you know what, let's go for it. And well, it is an incredibly impressive touchdown run by Deshaun Watson.
Absolutely. Great read play. I do want to quote Booger McFarland. So Booger gets a lot of flack because he's not, he's better than Witten.
That's fair. But
but he's not good. So this is Booger's first time actually up in the booth because he used to be on like that side track.
Booger Mobile.
Yeah. But here's a quote. So this is where they're showing the highlight of Watson's read play touchdown run.
Let's pay attention to number 88 right here. Understand this. He's reading the defensive end. When the defensive end goes down, Deshaun Watson goes on the outside. He's got a lead block.
And that's it?
That's the quote. I'm like, this guy played in the NFL and is supposed to be the smart guy of the booth.
And that's what we got. I could have told you that. I'm some idiot sitting on the couch, and I could have told you that. But
yeah. So the Saints go down next possession, kind of drive down the field, get a 32-yard field goal. So a good stand by Houston. And then the next drive, this is where Houston just held onto the ball. This actually next drive was 8.5 minutes long. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of Carlos Hyde, a lot of Duke Johnson. Which a lot of people kind of, Duke Johnson came into that offseason with a trade from Cleveland. Mm-hmm. And he's just a great, nice, can catch out of the backfield, can be a nice third down back, things, a little bit more quicker, change of pace from Carlos Hyde. But it all ends up with a DeAndre Hopkins 2-yard touchdown pass, slant down the middle there.
Well, you bring up Houston's run game. I thought this was surprisingly one of the most impressive parts of this game. Their starting running back, Lamar Miller, tears his ACL, I believe, in preseason. And so Duke Johnson was going to be the backup. And they were like, okay, well, you're the starter now. We need a new backup. Chiefs just signed Shady McCoy. So they're like, okay, I guess we don't need you, Carlos Hyde. And so they cut him, and the Texans picked him up. And not only in this game, but I thought for the whole season, Carlos Hyde was very productive.
He had 1,000 yards on the season.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Which is, it was crazy. And then we're gonna end this first half quickly. So Saints get the ball back. They drive down. There's only about 1:40 left. They get it to about midfield, and to end the half, they go for a long field goal, 56-yarder, and it misses. So we go into halftime. It's 14-3. If you were to watch, besides those two scores, if you were to actually watch the game and not pay attention to the score, you would have thought the Saints were up 21-3 or something. Mm-hmm. They were defensively all over Watson. Offensively, I felt like they were moving up and down the field. They just couldn't get in the end zone. Mm-hmm. But I just felt like the Saints had all the momentum. And then you look at the scoreboard and you're like, oh, you're down by 11.
There's like two plays in that first half. I'd say Breeze throwing the interception on the 5-yard line. And I'd say maybe the Watson run for a touchdown. If either of those plays go a different way, the Saints are up by 2 scores.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, for sure. So this second half, holy crap. The entire second half. I watched 2 versions. I watched the condensed red zone version where it's just play after play after play after play. Yeah. And then I rewatched the Game Pass version just to kind of get some more. You get more ebb and flow. You get more emotion tied into it because you have that ups and down roller coaster. And holy crap, this second half. So, I mean, we're just going to start off right off the bat. Drew Brees, across the middle, Alvin Kamara, ends up going 41 yards. And then I realized something here. The difference between real life and Madden, after 41 yards, Kamara just goes out of bounds and accepts it.
He'd be putting the hit stick on about 40.
Hit stick? Juke to the right? Something?
Anything.
and then 2 plays later, Latavius Murray, left side, 30-yard touchdown run, couldn't be touched. Saints crowd going nuts. You feel like the entire momentum has completely shifted. And then it gets even worse as the next possession, Deshaun Watson throws an interception. You think it's going big, but New Orleans is offside. Yep. And then very next play, Deshaun Watson, 16-yard touchdown to DeAndre Hopkins.
Which that drive overall, I thought was brilliant. Mm-hmm. It seemed like every single play, especially from Deshaun Watson, he was putting it right where he wanted to put it. I look at drives like that and I'm like, oh yeah, Deshaun Watson is one of those elite quarterbacks in the league.
I think, I mean, we're just like now we're just talking about like future stuff, things of that nature. He had a great receiver, things of that nature. If he can find the right coach, I'm not a big Bill O'Brien fan.
No.
Not my dude.
At least as a GM.
Oh gosh, terrible GM. But Deshaun Watson has so much. He's like one of those guys that I hope he's not. I hope 10 years from now we're still waiting on him to get into a Super Bowl.
But I think it will happen. I think 10 years sounds about right. I think he'll be one of those. I don't know. I mean, what would be a good comparison? A quarterback that got in the Super Bowl kind of later in his career.
I mean, let's go.
Maybe
Let's go. I'm gonna go NBA like Russell Westbrook. We're still waiting on him to get into the finals. Yeah, things of that nature. So, Brees had 1 in 09.
Right. But I mean, he's been in the league for a minute. Then
True. So, and this is just where scoring goes back and forth. So, next possession, Drew Brees actually has. This is where we see Taysom Hill more often. He had a 9-yard pass to Taysom Hill.
There he is, the Swiss Army knife.
Can I say, if Tim Tebow would have swallowed his pride, we would be talking about Tim Tebow the same way we talk about Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill would be the second Tim Tebow.
I actually loved what happened here. So on the extra point kick, the Texans actually had a penalty. Mm-hmm. So the Saints took the penalty for the kickoff. So they were, kicking off from like the 50. Instead of kicking it out of bounds, they did this high pooch kick. So instead of the Texans having it on the 25, the Texans returner, by the time he caught it, had Saints players all around him, and they had to start on the 10-yard line.
Right. So that's what you need to do when you have a short kick.
Yeah. Oh, and they brought up too when you have that short field like that. They actually brought up the second half onside kick from the Super Bowl from 2009 against the Colts. They brought up that. Yeah, they were bringing that up, and I was like, that would have been an excellent time to use it. But no, I still love what they did.
So yeah, it gets pretty close to the end of the third quarter. Watson eventually throws an interception. He tries to go deep with about 2 minutes left in the third. He throws a pick to end the drive, but it kind of starts a skirmish on the sideline.
I actually wrote down here, Watson gets intercepted by Williams. Hopkins body slams Williams, and this is where things get chippy.
Things do get chippy on the sideline.
Because if you notice, like prior to any of this, let's just go with like some of the Saints sacks or things of that nature. The celebrations would be, I flex my muscle, I'm happy with my team, this and that. After this play, celebrations turned into I'm standing over the opposing team, I'm pointing at them. It became more personal as it went on.
You can definitely tell that this was a back and forth prize fighter versus, prize fighter, just battling it out to the very end, to the final bell.
This is Drago versus Rocky 4.
Yes, exactly.
First play, start of the fourth quarter. Drew Brees has a 14-yard touchdown pass to Traquan Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that's the first lead they've had all game.
Yeah. Well, I loved it too because from then on out, like I thought it was over because that Saints defense was on fire. The very next Texans possession, they had 2 sacks. Mm-hmm. And it's just one of those moments where I just felt like, okay, New Orleans is just going to take over this game. Drew Brees is going to run out the clock, go score some extra points. And you can just tell like all of the heart was gone from Houston at that point.
I mean, you mentioned it, the way that the Saints defense has been all over Deshaun Watson the first half this whole game. You'd think once they get the lead, there's no way they're letting it slip. You add on top of that the fact that Kamara is an absolute beast, and he has a run about 10 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth where he is just running people over. He is a bulldozer, and everyone else is a Prius. He just demolishes everybody in his way, and it is freaking awesome to watch.
If that dude – so I can't stand him as a Tampa Bay fan because I have to play him twice a year. But if that dude can just stay healthy all the time, he is what Reggie Bush could have been.
Oh yeah, easily.
Oh man,
He's. I mean, even now he's a top 5 running back in the league, in my opinion.
oh yeah, absolutely. No doubt at all. And he doesn't even get full-time touches.
No. Incredible.
So we're just going to get back to it. This is going to be the last 55 seconds. Reason why everyone watches this. So with 55 seconds left, Lutz hits a field goal. The score is Saints up 27-21.
Mm-hmm.
And then
up by 6.
Up by 6. So here we go.
Keep in mind, though, Texans have no timeouts either.
Oh, I didn't pay attention to that. No
55
timeouts.
seconds, no timeouts, up by 6. You're looking pretty good.
So Saints kick off. It's a touchback. Texans start at the 25. First play, 38 yards to Hopkins.
Great hands by Hopkins here.
Oh, my gosh, that was a great catch.
Yeah.
Great catch. One play later, 37 yards to Kenny Stills for the touchdown. It took 13 seconds to tie it up at 27.
Which, I mean,
Watson took a hit, too, and he was on his back for that touchdown pass.
I mean, we made fun of that trade earlier, but they just got him and, Kenny Stills.
Oh, he was great. Yeah.
He showed up.
Let me rephrase that. He had a bad year. That was a good moment for him.
Right, exactly.
He had a bad year.
Right.
And then Fairborn actually misses the extra point. There's a roughing the kicker penalty, and he gets a second chance, and he makes it and takes a 1-point lead.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that's a penalty, the roughing the kicker?
That was not a penalty.
That was not a penalty.
That was not a penalty.
I think Saints fans knew that wasn't a penalty. And with all the tension from the last game that has been played in the Superdome, they tensions were high is all I'm saying.
It was. I feel like the refs were trying to throw a little bone there.
Yes, they were.
It's okay though. So now you have Drew Brees. He has 1 timeout left and 37 seconds. That's too much time. That's 30 seconds too much time.
That was the one thing that I wasn't worried about for the Saints was I knew that he would at least get into somewhat field goal range, whether it be close or in this case they end up driving all the way down for a 58-yard attempt.
So here's a small play-by-play real quick. So Breeze to Ted Ginn for 15 yards, comes up, quick spike. Breeze to Michael Thomas for 11 yards, quick spike. Then Breeze again to Ted Ginn for 9 yards, quick timeout, time for a 58-yard field goal.
I mean, the Texans were playing too loose. They were playing too far back. You're giving up these little plays. You can't be doing that. I mean, yeah, you don't want to give up the shot over the top, but
I would rather get beat by a 55-yard touchdown pass or 60-yard touchdown pass than let Drew Brees just pick me apart knowing that dude – I mean, you've had game film of him for 15 years. You know what he can do.
There's one of the things that I hate the most about defensive play is prevent defense. I hate prevent defense. Just play defense.
The worst.
Just play defense.
You've been doing great all game, and you've built this lead, and then all of a sudden you always just switch ideals because you think just don't get beat deep.
Yeah.
What are the odds that they're going to connect on a 55, 60-yard pass play
right,
as opposed to just nice, easy 9, 12-yard passes all the way down the field? So Texans are up 1.
Mm-hmm.
Lutz is going to go for a 58-yard field goal attempt.
Keep in mind, he just missed a 56-yard one before half.
But this one is up, and this one was right down the middle, and it probably would have been good from about 63 to 64 yards. He killed that ball.
Easily. He nailed it.
58-yard attempt for the win! Got it!
Saints crowd goes bananas.
Mm-hmm. As they should.
Absolutely crazy. Deshaun Watson just kind of stands staring at the field. Keep in mind, this is week 1. There's a whole season to be played, but
Right.
man,
It felt like the Super Bowl.
it was huge. It was huge. I felt like Deshaun Watson had like just the whole win knocked out of him just from that. Like that dude played the best game you could have asked for him, and scored a touchdown with only 13 seconds. Gave his team a lead, and his defense went out there and just shat the bed.
See, but that's what elite quarterbacks do. This if there's any game that I've ever seen from Deshaun Watson that proves that he is top tier quarterback, it's this one. A top tier quarterback will always keep you in a game, no matter how bad your offensive line is, no matter how bad more or less your defense is playing, whether you're down by 6 with less than a minute and no timeouts, he'll keep you in the game, and he'll give you the lead with 30 seconds left in the game, hoping the defense can hang on.
What a game. I highly recommend to people. So there are 2 versions on YouTube if you want to watch. So there's the shortened version, like 43, 44 seconds. That's excellent. And then there is like an 8.5-minute clip someone has up there of it's just the entire last like 2 minutes of the game with the crowd noise, with the breaks and the timeouts. I highly recommend pausing when you get to that moment, switch to that video so you can really take in what was going on that night. All right, you ready to find out what we're watching next?
Yeah. So what, you got a randomizer? We have all 10 of our games that we've both picked in there. Let's see what we're talking about next.
Oh man, the excitement. 3,
Nervous.
2, 1. Oh, dude.
What is it?
We have Germany-Brazil 2014 World Cup semifinal.
Get your father-in-law on the phone.
I am talking to my father-in-law. I'm so excited about this one.
Awesome.
I rewatched a little bit of this. It's going to be great. People, this whole game's on YouTube. Watch it. But yeah, we'll have this. We'll definitely be talking about Germany-Brazil here in a couple weeks. But until then, make sure you guys stay good, stay clean. Make sure you guys review, subscribe, leave comments down there. We like to interact with you. Until next time, bars closed.